In the second segment of our Choosing Curriculum the Family Way, we looked at faith and homeschooling approaches and the role each plays in forming a family's educational philosophy. In this third segment, we'll examine the more practical concerns: money, individuals, life, and you. As much as we might prefer to ignore any cost factors, few of us have the luxury of indifference to monetary considerations. So this is our third factor in the family acronym. You will need to determine your family's financial boundaries and priorities, and I can guarantee that they'll be different than your friends. Research shows that the average homeschooling family spends about $500 to $600 in curriculum purchases, products per child per year. This, of course, is just a tiny percentage of the $5,000 per child per year that the public schools spend. Still, it's a big chunk for most families, and it's an average. That figure represents families on both ends of the spectrum. Only you will be able to decide what level of investment you can make in your child's education, what you can, you should, you will make. Each family's income level and situation is different. Many, if not most, homeschooling families have a single income. But you might have ways of supplementing the budget, a home business or a part-time job. Maybe you have grandparents who are willing and able to assist with curriculum purchases. In addition to how much you can afford to spend, you will also have to sort out your family's priorities, your educational priorities. One family might want art or music lessons, while another family pursues sports or travel. Only you can determine what those priorities will be. In general, it's good to remember that time equals money in terms of curriculum products. In other words, if you prepare your own lesson plans, if you prepare your own materials, if you search the internet for usable things, you are going to spend a lot less money. There will be a lot less expense than if you choose a product that provides all those things. However, it's going to take a lot more time. Your family is made up of individuals. Shocking, I know. We're usually very much aware of the differences of each of our children, how they learn, how they think, how they take in information. But now we need to think about what that means in terms of choosing curriculum. Your overall learning style includes both the channel through which you take in information, what you see, what you hear, what you touch, and the ways you are most motivated to learn, or your thinking style. We all have discovery channels, a favorite way to discover new facts about the world, the way we take in information. Some of us are visual learners. We're easily distracted by new sites, but we're able to remember where we've put something. We're good at catching typos and doing puzzles, and we're very aware of the visual details in drawings. We're the ones who will remember people's names better if we see them written out. But some visual learners are picture learners, while others are word learners, and it's an important difference. Some of us are auditory learners. We learn by hearing or talking. We like to talk, sometimes even if it's only to ourselves. We remember names easily, and we can carry a tune, usually. We follow oral instruction well, and we'll usually know the answer, but we may have trouble writing it down on paper. Some of us are kinesthetic or tactile learners. What most people don't understand about us is that we have to be moving or touching in order to learn. We're fun to watch as we tell stories because we have animated gestures and facial expressions. Oh, and we like to take things apart. But how you most easily take in information is just part of the equation. It's also important how you process information, how you think about it. Kathy Duffy and Deborah Bell, as well as others, have outlined personality types that characterize various learning and thinking styles. Kathy Duffy talks about Wiggly Willie, who does well with hands-on projects. Perfect Paula, who likes to follow a typical school curriculum. Competent Carl, who tends towards analytical subjects like math or science. And sociable Sue, who prefers the big picture rather than the boring details. Deborah Bell prefers the learning styles defined by Dr. Keith Golay, the actual spontaneous learner, the one who says, "I dare you to teach me." Or the actual routine learner, the one who says, "Teacher, may I help you?" Or the conceptual specific learner, "Frankly, Mother, I prefer to do it myself." Or the conceptual global learner, "Hey, everybody, look at me." Be careful with these designations. Most young children are wiggly and prefer hands-on learning activities. All of us need to develop and strengthen our various ways of taking in information and processing it. If you jump too quickly into a learning style designation, you may be wrong, or your child may mature or change into a different style. I like what Carol Barnier says about learning styles. Focus on the 3 main learning paths: seeing, hearing, moving, but teach to all of them. There is one last consideration in the area of learning individualness. Do you have a learning blessed or learning differently child? One will go through curriculum very quickly, and you'll be scrambling to keep up. The other may need special material or extra time. All of these considerations will impact your curriculum choices. Our L in family is life, the distinctives of your family's life. So what are they? Does your family father have an unusual work schedule? 3rd shift maybe, or a firefighter's 2 days on and 2 days off. Or maybe he's a long-haul trucker that's gone for a week at a time. Is your family involved in a home business that requires everybody's participation at certain times? Do you have an elderly grandparent living with you? And if so, does that provide wonderful education options, or does it require detailed care? Do your children have farm animals or outdoor chores? What season of life are you in? Do you have all young students? Are you trying to homeschool older children while keeping preschoolers occupied? Do you have high schoolers or older students who can work independently? Or perhaps your family has children whose ages span the entire spectrum. What special events, short-term or long-term, will be factors in your homeschooling this year? Will there be a new baby or perhaps a special trip? Those are the ones that we can take into account as we choose a curriculum. However, I've known moms who've homeschooled through major illnesses or injury. Some of these we can never plan for, but they will impact curriculum decisions. The last factor to consider is you. It's surprising how easy it is to overlook yourself. First of all, how do you see your homeschool? Do you expect to be teaching various ages of children all together, or to have them do grade-specific work? Are you going to set up a classroom or gather everyone around the kitchen table? What type of teacher do you expect to be? Is it more like I'm the teacher and you're the student? Or is it more like, come on, we're all going to learn together? Or maybe you see yourself in the role of an administrator, tapping into various resources and utilizing lots of outside instructional opportunities. This is something that can change too from year to year, or perhaps according to the different seasons of your children's life. I started out being a teacher, but I ended up being more of an administrator. How confident are you about how to teach? Do you need or want step-by-step lesson plans? Will you feel more comfortable with a scripted manual? Do you want the security of an umbrella school or a single publisher where everything is provided and decisions are all made for you? Or maybe you're ready to dig in thinking, how difficult can this be, really? Just give me a book and I'm ready to go. What are your time priorities and limitations? Are you working part-time? More and more homeschool moms are. Are you a single parent working full-time and yet still committed to homeschooling? How much structure do you need? Do you want to make up your curriculum as you go along, adapting to the needs or interests of your children? Or do you need and want to have a plan? Do you need a set schedule? Or do you have the ability to be flexible? Don't forget to take yourself into consideration as you make your curriculum choices. In these middle 2 segments of our workshop, we've taken a look at the family factors that make your family and your situation unique. In our last segment, we'll look at how we can pull all this together and produce a philosophy of education.